Hi, everybody. Welcome from Goodman Games. I'm Joseph Goodman, publisher. I'll pass the baton to Chris to introduce himself.
Hey everybody, Chris Doyle. I manage the 5e side of the house for Goodman Games, and I will pass the baton over to Mike on my virtual left.
Wherever I am. And I'm Michael Curtis, Director of Product Development for Dungeon Crawl Classics and assorted stuff. So we are here today to I think we ran out of stretch goals, right? That's what we're here for.
Yeah, we also ran out of sleep. It's been it's an amazing couple of days. We were just discussing, we all thought we were like 5 or 6 days into this project, and apparently it's only 3 days. We launched midday Tuesday, and it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But it sure feels like it's been longer than that. You backers are keeping us really busy in all the right ways, but it's been a nutty couple of days.
Yeah, I mean,
And I think, like Mike said, we've passed all the stretch goals, I think, right? Or maybe there's one left. I can't keep track anymore. Hold on.
I haven't looked in the last half hour, so it's quite possible we've reached another one. So I'm sure somebody out there will tell us.
Yes, we are closing in on 3,000 backers. I think we need like 5 or 6 more backers, but we do that while we're on the air here. That would be awesome to do that.
That would be awesome. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Stretch goals. So we're just off of the 13th stretch goal. We originally put out 13 stretch goals that we thought would last us, 3-4 weeks, and said they lasted us apparently less than 3 days.
3 to 4 days.
Yeah, and we're just off from the last of them. So thank you for all the enthusiasm, everybody. It's kind of amazing how much love there is for Caverns of Thracia. Excuse me, it's awesome.
I can confirm that we are streaming on the BackerKit page too. So.
Oh, okay, great, cool. All right. So Chris, Mike, are you guys as tired as I am?
A lot going on.
Probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what you've been up. Last time I checked, you were winter sports or something, right?
No, I'm trying to take a vacation and utterly failing. But it's summer vacation for my kids, so we're taking like we have a travel trailer, so we're like driving around. I'm streaming live from Moab, Utah at the moment, where we were supposed to go to Canyonlands National Park and just failed. Instead, the campaign's going well. No, so they hardly ever get rain here, and there was hail and torrential thunderstorms yesterday. It lasted, I would say 20 minutes tops, but that's enough to flood the entire town. Mm-hmm. So downtown was like it's all this red rock, so just clay washes over the whole town. And then it's like how in the East Coast you guys have like snow plows. Here they have like mud plows. They deployed this fleet of mud plows, and like they had the roads cleared in like an hour and a half. But it's been just I never experienced this before. A different kind of environment for me. It's been a cool trip, but it's like interesting enough that's very new to me.
So, well, judging from the creative retreats, apparently the poor weather just follows you around. Apparently, so that's
yeah.
What was that kid in Snoopy, Pigpen, who always had like the cloud of dust? I have like a little like rain cloud that follows me around.
Like a human cloud seeder. You.
Who needs rain? Call me in. Oh. Well, so Chris and Mike, you guys and your teams have done an incredible job with Caverns of Thracia. I mean, Bob and Scott appeared on some of the live streams and told everybody some of the work they did, and it seems like the fans are really happy with, with all of it. But the expansion modules or new adventures, we seem to get constant requests, and I'm kind of setting something up here, backers, if you're watching this. But we get constant requests to convert Sacrificial Pyre of Thracia to from 5e to DCC, and Isle of the Serpents from DCC to 5e. Am I wrong, or is that? I feel like I've seen 1,000 requests for that.
I've heard a few of those.
Yep.
So. Yeah, and Scott and Bob have literally poured. They've probably been working on Thracia and Thracia related products for about 1.5 years now. So, they are obviously more than knee deep into Thracia. They're face forward right into it, and they've literally been kind of living it. And I always tell folks, when you do these conversion projects, you really do get to know the source material, because you don't just read it and play it once at a game table or something. You read it, you reread it, you type it, you redo it, you really kind of get to know the ins and outs of it and everything. And they've literally been doing that for 1.5 years now. So and I'm glad that it shows that when they come on these shows and everything, you can just see the enthusiasm and the passion coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and the art team's been doing awesome too. I mean, all the artists have done an amazing job, but Aaron Creeder's been churning out graphics. He originally thought he had a couple weeks to turn those in, Instead, I think he basically pulled an all-nighter. And then we just sent him like 8 new graphics requested today for the ones we're about to unveil here. It's been kind of nuts.
Yeah, he's the one who's tired right now. I mean, he's
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just picturing his hands covered with graphite and ink, and him just looking drinking coffee with a beard. It's
Yeah.
so,
So thank you, Aaron, and thank you, Matt Hildebrand, and all the artists for cranking so hard on this. It's been pretty impressive.
and there are much worse problems to have.
That's true. There are. That's true. So maybe we should start by reviewing all the stretch goals we've already cleared or almost about to clear. Then we can talk through the new ones. Does that sound good?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is also a good time to point out that backers, we're trying to turn around our projects faster. Chris and Mike did a phenomenal job of getting Caverns of Thracia written, developed, edited. Like it is already in layout, as you see from the preview of the first dungeon level, which is posted on the page now. And we were all excited to turn this project around very quickly and get it to the printer right after the project ends. And now we're talking about adding more content. So just full disclosure, some of these stretch goals might delay the delivery by a month or so. But we're still doing pretty good in terms of tracking to a quick turnaround on the delivery. All right,
Yeah.
and let me go to the stretch goals.
Okay.
Let's see. If you're new to BackerKit, you go to the page, go to the community tab, then you get some options under there, and you click achievements. All right. Oh my goodness. In the chat, they're already suggesting even more stretch goals. Look, we already entertained like 500 suggestions between all the comments. So we've made our decisions, but if you guys get us high enough, we'll be open to even more options.
Yeah, keep them coming because one never knows where the campaign will go. So, and you
Good
never
point.
know, we might just use these ideas like down the road or something where we're like, oh, hey, this might be a cool idea.
Yeah, good point. All right, so the first one we cleared was the expanded bonus mini level, the Island of Thracia. Chris, do you want to talk a little bit about that to remind people of all the extra stuff they're getting?
So that was 3 stretch goals, right? Where we
Yeah.
had we just basically kept expanding it. So we've got a nice big map. This was the island. I'll make sure you get the island of Thracia. So basically, the city of Thracia is set on a continent. And then we decided to actually kind of detail that continent. I mean, we didn't give it, fine-tooth detail, but we got a nice big map. And then we've got basically all the different surrounding terrain and the areas and everything. And we kind of turned it into where you could very much make it into a hex crawl. We've given you some ruins and some lairs and stuff like that, just some little tidbits of information, some adventure hooks here and there. Where you could actually expand out and, either on their way to Thracia or after they finish the Caverns of Thracia and they start going out, start exploring, the bigger part of the, as we like to call it, the Janelaverse.
The Janelaverse. And that was a total of 4 stretch goals because we're going to do the booklet that expand the booklet, that expand the booklet more. And then I think there was the poster map, which was the last
poster
one.
map. Yeah, which is awesome that we're going to, if you guys have seen the poster map from Dark Tower, that's what we're talking about right there. We love our poster maps. We go into these projects now and we're kind of like, what can we make a poster map? And then we're like, and if we don't have anything, we come up with stuff that we can make into a poster map.
It's all about the cartography.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, we basically publish RPGs as an excuse to do cartography.
And
feels
awesome
that way
art.
some days. And awesome art, yes.
I mean,
so that was.
I was gonna say,
go ahead.
We have a stable of such great artists. We've come a long way from the blue, square maps and everything that was in the was 20 years ago when you first started, where it was very much still steeped in the old TSR days, and now we've been leaning to isometric maps and and then these lavish poster maps and stuff. So
and maps as artwork, because some of the maps we do are actually artwork in their own right, with the detailed borders and all the little cool things that the artist add onto them. I mean, that's the best part, is looking at those.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, Doug's map from Portal into the Stars and Sailors on the Starless Sea, which, if I remember correctly, were the first 2 that were done for DCC. Like those, first of all, they were amazing. It almost like set the standard from the, usually you get better at stuff as you go on, but this like set the standard from the get-go. And just sort of, I feel almost like a redefined cartography in this sort of the part of the RPG space. Like now there's a lot of people out there trying to do what Doug was doing, whatever that was, 13, 14, 15 years ago.
Yep. One of the biggest complaints I get from new judges who are seeing the DCC stuff for the first time is like, well, I want to share this map with the players, but I can't because I said, well, that you print the module and then you show them the map. That's what you do. So.
We got a comment in the chat. The Linkmar map was awesome. It was. So here's a little known fact about the Linkmar map from a production value standpoint. My friend Steve Chenault owns Trollord Games, and years ago they did a map where they worked with this like teacher supply company. When you go to like a classroom, they'll have those like those maps with like wooden dowels on the bottom and top, and it's always
they used to have those.
Yeah, they're on a smart board now.
Yeah.
Okay, good point. But there's still a guy out there selling them, and maybe this is why Steve was able to get it cheap because the guy doesn't get a lot of business now. But Steve connected me with this guy because Steve did a map of the Castles and Crusades world, and this thing was like, it cost like $400 on the crowdfunding consumer price, but it was basically like a teacher map. It was like 6 foot by 4 foot or something, and you had to set it up, and you would pull the dowels down. It was amazing. So Mike, I always thought of doing that for the Linkmar map, which would be super cool. So maybe if we ever do a round 2 or something, we can crowdfund the teacher's classroom edition of that map.
We'll see what we have in the pike. Maybe we can find a home for that. No.
Yeah.
Did that have 5-foot squares or 10-foot squares? Oh, I'm sorry. Is that too soon?
Too soon. Joe Kushner, we heard you every time you posted.
We're gonna the old Stephen Wright thing. We're getting an actual size map, and 1 square equals 1 square. It's going to be like 1 inch equals 1 inch, right? So
that'd be pretty funny. All right, so back to stretch goals. That was the first round of stretch goals. Second round, number 5 and 6 that we cleared were the Starry Archipelago. Chris or Mike, who wants to tell people what they're getting here? Yeah, Archipelago, not Archie Pelago.
No. You mean the archipelago?
Did I say it wrong?
Yes.
I've been practicing.
No, that's gonna be the $700,000 stretch goal. We're sending you to get
to speech school
lessons. No. Archipelago.
Wait, how do you say it right? Archipelago?
Archipelago, like a pelican.
Dude,
like
I'm never gonna get this right. Like a pelican, like the bird.
Yeah.
What is it? It's like a pelican. Like
pelicans.
They're aquatic birds.
Because that's where they live. Yeah, that's where they live.
So if you come from an archipelago, are you archipelagan in origin?
Depends.
I think we have a new monster, the archipelagan. I think that should be.
All right, writing it down. We joke
right.
about these things, but we need monster ideas. So.
Right. So the next step is it's weird. We started with the dungeon, and then we had a plan, and it was almost working because then we were zooming out to the kind of like the island, the continent, the region of Thracia and everything, and then we expanded that to the archipelago, and that is going to be that we have a plan for the poster map for that, which also covers the general area the island of Thracia is part of the larger archipelago, which is composed of the Starry Archipelago. So it's one small island and otherwise, a group of about a dozen or so, other islands. Each one, which, each one has kind of a capsule write-up with some of the high points, populations, stuff like that, So it serves as a background stuff that the game master judge can further flesh out. They can put new stuff on there, what have you. So we had that to begin with, and then in an end we decided, okay, let's just do a big poster map. See aforementioned conversation about us doing big maps. So that's kind of where we're standing on that at the moment. And I think
and then after that,
yep.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
After that was the ruins, right?
Right. That's why I said that's where the idea of like zooming out breaks down, because now we're back.
Yes.
Yep. So we're zooming back in.
Yes. So the original Castle Thracia, the Caverns of Thracia, it contains like 5 above ground encounters, which represents like the western part of the ruins of the city above it. So if you only have 5 buildings, well, it's a city, so there's plenty of other stuff to expand upon. So that's where we decided that made sense to do. No. And I know,
and then that was also an excuse for another poster map, because we're gonna have a poster map of the ruins of Thracia too, right?
Of course.
So we're going. So we have a large scale map for that, and we're going to detail some of the sections of the ruins as well. And I believe we're up to 4 pages, 6 pages, 8 pages. I don't know. It seems like we're slowly climbing, but details are forthcoming.
Yeah, I think it was 12 pages for Ruins of Thracia plus the poster map. And then we got into dungeon level 2A, which I believe was Chris's idea, and we've cleared, I think, 8 pages then, I think. And we're this close to clearing the next set of content.
Yeah, that's the last one, right? The last one to be unlocked is the rest of 2A. So yep.
So now
you want to tell them about 2A?
So 2A is basically, if you look at the side view map of Caverns of Thracia, which there was one included in there because Janelle was loved the side view maps and the top maps, which is a great way to actually visualize kind of the way the dungeon levels stack. There's a big gap where in between 2 and 3A, I believe it is. Because I think 3 is below 3A, I believe, if I got it right. So anyway, it's like a perfect place for a whole nother sub level. So we have a sub level that's basically an extension of kind of like that river that's going through level 2. There's a way to get there. There we go. There's the side map. Look at that.
Plenty of black space here.
Yep, plenty of black space that needs to be filled up. So we decided to go filled up. I believe there's about 34, 35, something like that encounters on that level alone. And it's more of that Caverns of Thracia goodness that you come to expect. There's a little bit of weird in there, which is good. We got lizard folk. My favorite, we've statted out a giant snapping turtle, which is pretty awesome because those things are fearsome. If folks remember back in first edition, used to have one of those statted out, but they don't have one of those, I don't believe, in the new one. I'm not sure if you guys have one of those in the DCC core book or not, but there's nothing. There's nothing wrong with a giant snapping turtle the size of a bus. I mean, very cool.
That's scary, man. Even regular snapping turtles in the real world can take out their finger.
Regular snapping turtles are very much scary. So dinosaur like.
Now here's the question: is this a snapping turtle or is it an alligator snapping turtle?
Oh, it's right. It's an alligator snapping turtle. Thank you.
That's the one you definitely don't want to mess around.
Yes. You got they're even worse. Yeah, they basically just they are. They're all snapping turtles are foul tempered, but yes, those are never come face to face with one of those, and I don't want to. So.
And Jib Cutter actually asked in the comments something, which is a good reminder. So Jib Cutter, to answer your question as to where the stretch goals will be published, Dungeon Level 2A will be in the main book because it makes a lot of sense coming right off the map there. The other components will be in a stretch goal booklet, which will be a separate product. So this is a good reason to pledge for the crowdfunding. You will get the stretch goals, or almost all the stretch goals, in that stretch goal booklet, which will not be available in retail. Retail buyers will get Dungeon Level 2A, which is going to be part of the main book, but crowdfunding backers will get the stretch goal booklet that'll have the Ruins of Thracia, the Starry Archipelago, and the what am I forgetting? The other one that we talked about, the
island,
Ruins, island itself,
archipelago.
Yeah, and that'll all be in a booklet.
So far,
exactly. Yeah, and then those will be shrink wrapped with the poster maps, above or below the booklet or something. But yeah, that's so far. Now we get to the part. So we've covered. You're basically already getting a 32 something page booklet of additional content and 3 poster maps plus the new Dungeon Level 2A. So now we can probably talk about the new stretch goals. So we're about to close in on I think it's at 300,000. Sorry, at 390,000 is where we'll clear the last little bit of Dungeon Level 2A, and we're closing in on that. So if you're watching this, please pledge or add on something or whatever, help us close out the last one. And now we can talk about the new ones. So, Elena, do you have some fancy graphics to show for the first one?
Or any graphics?
Or anything.
If Aaron hasn't finished the graphics yet, let me just go in the back room and tell him to draw faster.
We should be live streaming Aaron just working at this as it's going on.
Great. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we got approximately 1,000 requests for a slipcase. So I do agree, everybody. Slipcases look awesome. They're amazing. They look great on a shelf. They look great in a book. So we're going to work with the printer to unlock an option for a slipcase. There's certain sort of minimum requirements and so on, but if we hit 420K, we'll be close enough to clear those. So at 420K, we're going to unlock the slipcase option. That means we'll basically work with the printer to spec it out and ensure we can hit a minimum run on it. And that'll become for backers a $15 add-on. I mean, I actually would like to have one for my shelf, and I think all you guys would too. And we're, as for the art on the slipcase, it may be a new piece of art. We're trying to see if somebody can finish a new piece of art in time for the crowdfunding. And you know who you are. It's not Aaron, it's somebody else. Aaron's busy. And we're hoping to pull this off. So if it can also involve a new piece of art, we'll reveal that when it's ready. But that's the first slipcase, or sorry, first stretch goal that we've added on. Mike, you want to announce the next one?
Sure. If and when we hit, well, I should say when we hit 450,000, we are going to include we're going to call it a game master screen, just because I'll be polite. I would call it judge's screen, but it is going to be 3-panel screen with the outward facing art on it. We're kind of still, again, see the discussion of all our artists are working very hard, so we might have new art, we might use some of the cover art or anything. So that will be the outward facing side, and on the inward facing side, we're going to make this system neutral, so it would work for either the 5e version or the DCC version. So we're kind of trying to figure out what's the best information that we can pack on that, which would be applicable to the players. So we might, to the game master. So we've thrown in some ideas, maybe the wandering monster tables, maybe maps, but we're kind of brainstorming at this point, trying to figure out what we have out there available to us that we can incorporate into that.
So definitely, clog up the comments in the chat with what you guys want on the inside of the screen.
Actually, I would say leave notes on that on the BackerKit page.
Yeah,
they stay there for eternity, while the chat is ephemeral, and I'm not taking notes.
Although I like the suggestion here, cutaway map of the island dungeon. I mean, that's the thing. There's so many options to include. You can do maps. You can do wandering monster tables. It's a debate.
Pronunciation guide for archipelago.
Yeah.
Yes. We should have a pronunciation. Well, I always thought it was Thracia, and apparently I was wrong. Like, we should have a pronunciation guide. Well, it's like the whole drow versus dro thing. I mean, who really says dro?
Apparently somebody did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's the other one? It's like not until I started going to cons I discovered people said these things different than me, because nobody walks around in real life going to Starbucks being like, "Can I get a drow?" What was the other one? I can't remember. There's one other word that I heard somebody say it, and I was like, "Really? That's how you say it?" I can't remember which creature it was though. One of those D&D monsters with like a weird Gygaxian name.
I still do not know how to pronounce the vampiric stingray monsters.
Ixiachitl?
Yeah. And the
what?
Say it again. It's Ixiachitl, I think.
Okay.
Something like
I've heard that many times. It goes in the brain and immediately falls out the other ear. So
Yeah.
And the guys from U3, the final enemy, the Sahuagin,
the Sahuagin. Yeah.
Again, another thing.
Oh, I always thought it was Sahuagin. It's Sahuagin.
Yeah. See, that's the problem with being well read and not running into these words in actual conversation.
Yeah, well read as opposed to well conversed, I guess. Or yeah. Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Okay,
by the way,
cool.
Alderek 1 had a great idea for what the content should be on the inside of the screen. He said, leave it blank. I love that idea.
Works for me, right?
Yeah, that way you can print out whatever you want and just put it on there. So if we make it magnetic,
yes,
and then sell magnets,
it's like the worst stretch goal ever. Why don't we make both sides blank? Then people can print out whatever they want.
Exactly.
For whatever panel they want.
They can pick whichever artwork they want. Yeah, let's just sell them cardstock.
We'll include a coupon to Staples where they get one of those science display boards out of like the foam board, for $5. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, I did, like, somebody asked a question about thick cardstock. Whoever it was, I lost it in the thread. Maybe. So basically it depends how it goes. If we like barely clear that, it's going to be skinny cardstock. If we clear it by a mile and make it to the next one, it's going to be thick cardstock. The thickness of the cardstock will be directly correlated with how well we do. If we do well enough, you're going to get like, chiseled stone or something.
So, and 450K actually has some very important significance to us at Goodman Games, because if we hit 450K and I think a couple hundred, that will be our most funded campaign ever. So
That's awesome.
That's why we're basically rolling out the screen, the awesome screen idea on that one, because we really want to make this our most funded campaign that we've ever done. So
Yeah. And actually, Jim Cutter in the chat just said, I'm just calling out. He said that I was right. Apparently, I always said Sahawgans. He says that the guy who actually created them said that way. Sahawagans. Even I can't say it right.
I think that was in Blackmore, so that would have been Dave Arneson, unless it was somebody part of Arneson's campaign. So I don't know.
Okay. All right. We'll need a fact checker. All right. JD Superhero, thank you for backing this project. It's the first crowdfunding you've ever backed. That's awesome.
That's great. Welcome to the family.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. And don't worry, we will actually fulfill this project. You'll get your pledge. I'm glad you're backing us and not backing some other products and getting burned by crowdfunding.
You have a solid track record. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to try to sell you pencil dice. Don't worry.
I mean, Goodman Games been around for what, 24 years now, or 20?
Something like that.
Something like that. It's not exactly. It's really we just have a warehouse, so it's hard to pull up stakes and vanish in the night or anything. So
yeah, feels like 24 years since last Tuesday. It's like. All right. Next. Oh, enamel pins. Pins are cool. We've done a couple pins in the past, although it's kind of like you can choose stickers, pins, patches. Like they're all sort of variants on the same concept. I'm leaning more and more towards stickers because you can put them on a lot more stuff, whereas pins and patches are a little more limited in what you can put them on. Just to answer the question in the pin. All right, Chris, sorry, Mike, go ahead.
Go on.
Okay. Chris, you want to take the next stretch goal and announce what's next?
Sure. And I'll try and figure out what it actually is. So at 480, right? Yeah, 480. Yep. We're calling this one the improved production values stretch goal. So I'm assuming this is going to be, and I'll hopefully Joe will nod, bookmark or bookmarks, plural, possibly. Yes. Also, I think you said some foil embossing on this will be on the standard book, right? So and maybe some other interesting kind of things that we could do with the covers of the books that folks might or might not know that we do, because sometimes they're subtle, but they'll be cool. I mean, is that fair to say?
That's fair. We left it kind of intentionally vague in the description, improved production values, because Chris, he had some good ideas. We were debating good ideas, and there's possibilities for what it could mean. So again, if we clear it by a nickel, you're getting one bookmark. If we clear it by a mile, it'll be 3 sewn in bookmarks and probably some debossed foil on the cover where the logo is, and maybe some other fancy stuff. We can, we'll have something to play with.
I would just say I got I think earlier this week or the end of last week, I got the new big thick book about the making of Dungeons and Dragons, the original from 19, and that has 4 ribbon bookmarks in it. So I think we need to get.
They're up in the game.
5.
Yeah. Yes.
At least for 5e, it would only make sense to have 5 bookmarks.
Yeah.
And the DCC ones are actually tongues. That's what.
Yes, 5 for every tongue on the Minotaur. Yeah, totally.
I want texture on my tongues. I want to see the little taste buds. I'll ask the printer if they have
those wacky. They were the almost gelatinous.
Yes.
Yeah, the little walls and stuff like that. We make them out of that. That's what we need to do. So.
My printer already loves me. I better if I mailed her one of those. They can
figure it out.
They're used to conversations like that at this point. That's pretty funny. I still remember when we did the DCC 4th printing. That was the one where we did thumb tabs, which are pretty cool.
Doing that again.
Yeah.
Right. Turns out that's a lot of extra work.
That will not be an improved production value that you're getting on this.
Right. Reduced production values. Well, the trouble was we did it with the gilding. So you can gild the edges or color them, which actually looks super cool. But if you do it with the thumb tabs, as we all discovered, me and the printer together, that's 2 things you're doing to the side of the book, and they don't work well together. So yeah, that was hard. They spent a long time figuring that out. I would like to do gilding again. Gilding looks super cool. Maybe we want to do the DCC 15th printing or something.
We should look into not quite, no, not, I'm not saying the painted one, but there are patterned ones you could do. I wonder if we can do the custom. We could do the what we're using as the footer for the thing, the kind of the inspired by the
That's a cool idea.
by the vase, you know. So
That's actually, yeah, print. I've seen books that print like, usually it's words, but print phrases on the edge. That's not a bad idea at all. That could look really cool. All right. So anyway, improved production values will be 480K. How far we clear it, they'll be more or less improved. The other good idea, I think, Chris, this is your idea, was that let's say we pick silver bookmarks or whatever, we can get the printer to provide us with samples, and let the backers vote on exactly which, silver bookmark or green bookmark.
Yeah.
It might sound like green bookmark. How hard can that be? But the printer has like a catalog of like 52 different variants of green, and checkered green and striped green and forest green and lime green. So we can let backers pick which color they want.
We need Taste Bud Pink to be in that lineup.
Well, it's not like there's a giant mouth in Thracia, I mean.
There you go. Mouth. Yeah, I'm saying keep it all on theme here.
That's pretty funny. All right, cool. So I'll take the next one. So that's up to 480K. If we hit 510K, which would be amazing, we're gonna produce what I'm calling the Ecology of Thracia. And this is really this is me who keeps pushing for this. Chris and Mike keep you sure? And I'm like, yes, I'm sure. I have fond memories of Dragon Magazine and those ecology articles from way back when. Everybody remember those? Ecology of, they must have done 30 or 40 or 50 of them.
Exoticals?
Yeah, that was one of them.
And the Sahuagin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd love to do, right now I'm just calling it Ecology of Thracia, but we can pick, lizard folk, beastmen, minotaurs, not sure, maybe
Archipelago.
A couple of them.
Yeah.
Ecology, Archipelago. And see that in the comments, they really like this. I told you guys. Oh no, he's referencing the lenticular cover. Never mind.
Is what they like.
All people work for us.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, Bob's the one yelling at him because he gets paid if he gets to write that. Of course.
Isn't Bob supposed to be creating new material right now?
Yeah, Bob, get back to work.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good to know. Yeah, so some sort of ecology article. We can figure out the details as we move on. Maybe actually even have a backer vote to help us figure it out. Whistles innocently. So you had me at ecology. Thank you. Is that Greg, Bug Professor?
Right,
yes.
Right, Bug Professor. Right. You'd be behind.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, quick shout out. Greg launched his second Kickstarter on the same day we launched Thracia. And we might have taken some thunder away from that. And if I recall, checking it earlier today, he's like 1 or 2 backers away from funding. So if that could fund while we're on the air here, that would be really cool too. So
Elena,
so Greg,
can you find the link about that in the chat?
There it is. He's already got it. Bug Professor's got it at his fingertips.
Perfect.
Guys, check it out. It's an amazing. If you guys didn't check out his first DCC adventure, this one looks amazing as well. And and delivered early, I believe. And so everybody go over there and back his project, because he's right there to get funded. So, and I ran into him at Free RPG Day this weekend in the wild.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's funny.
I'm trying to, I'm getting acclimated to my new home range of Pennsylvania. So
that's awesome. Yeah, that's a good reminder. I'll do next Kickstarter or crowdfunding update we can do a roundup of all the current, other DCC related projects or something like that. Try to remember to do that.
Before we go, I just realized I have, which would either be trivia or an anecdote. The very first Dragon magazine I ever bought was the one that had the ecology of the Ichthyosaur in it. So it's all
seriously
together, right? So.
Oh, and
that's good.
Bug Professor just went over the line, so he has officially funded.
Right,
yay! You guys are fans are the best.
Pirates of the Goblin River. Good call. Somebody dropped the link in the chat for that. Let's give that a shout out as well.
That's another one. Actually, we can turn this stream into just drop your favorite DCC crowdfunding link into the.
Yes. All right. Awesome. Cool. Let's see.
All right. That was 510K, right?
Yes.
All right.
Hold on.
Here they come.
Sorry, I managed to somehow open up a world. What is going on? Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, I was trying to click a link and open up a weird page, and audio started going through and I couldn't hear anything. Drive myself crazy. All right. That was 510K. Now we're on to 540K.
right.
Oh, Chris, you love talking about poster maps. I feel like,
Yeah,
or
we've already
yeah,
established earlier in the show that we really love poster maps.
uh,
So we decided why not give, well, I guess more poster maps is not right, but how about bigger poster maps? So we were going to make the island of Thracia an even bigger poster map. So I think we were talking about going to like 4 panels, I think, or we doing 16 panels. What was it? I don't know, I think it was like 4 panels or something.
I think 4
Uh,
panels.
that we were going to go with
yeah,
on that. So yeah, so I mean, again, everybody loves a nice big old poster with some, and again, you guys know these maps are a thing of artwork, so it's really 2 in 1. You're getting a map, but you're also getting an amazing piece of artwork from one of our artists. So that will be at 540K.
Yeah. So that's 22 inches by, trying to do my math,
I think
by,
it's 17 by
17
22.
by
Is how it works
22,
out.
I think is how it works
Yeah.
out.
yeah.
Yep.
And when we talked about this, we were talking about it. It'd be like the player map. So like, it'll be like the silhouette of the island and you can see the hexes right along the edge, right. And then the interior is just sort of open hexes to be mapped out,
Yep.
as they explore. I feel like, was it Gazetteers from TSR that had some of these? I feel like I had one of these as a
Yeah, I
kid from
believe that's
some
what had
product.
them. Yeah.
I mean, now that I say this out loud, the Gazetteers had that cool, like, matte, almost that color scheme, where the colors
Mhm.
were not that saturated. Normally we do these black and white, but it might be cool to do the player map in color. I don't know. Just spitballing.
Potential stretch goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the ideas keep
I
coming,
like the
money keeps coming. We might we might hit all of these. So
yeah.
Right.
I like the comment in the chat, door poster map. That'd be
Yeah.
pretty funny.
Mhm.
And a wall map. That's funny.
Yeah.
All right. Mike, you want to take the next one?
Sure. So if and when we hit 570K, that is you asked for it, folks. So a book of handouts, which we will include some of the art, the art that we've been I'm assuming that the way that Matt said, it's like, yeah, that shouldn't be any problem. So I'm assuming that we're going to use some of Aaron's stuff because that's already been done. So and then we have some ideas for additional stuff. Obviously we're not going to, with like 250 plus rooms, we're not gonna have handouts for everything, but we'll try to hit the highlights, the ones that are going to be most useful. So we've had some thoughts about that. I think we're kind of going back and forth on what encounters to include, because there's certainly some funky ones in there which would benefit from a visual representation. But I was just thinking we had to put the Minotaur's Palace in there. You have to see what that looks like from the outside, and
Yep.
yeah. There's a certain reptilian temple complex, which has all sorts of interesting things. I think that would make a suitable one.
And a certain giant gnome. So
Isn't the giant gnome already done?
he's already in there. That was one of
I
Aaron's
thought.
that he did. He already did the giant gnome. So
He was being mistaken as a guinea pig from what I first recall originally, but he's quite clearly a giant gnome. No, so that's already in there. But I think there's a certain device which goes up and down. So I think that would be kind of a cool one, but we'll see. There's no shortage of possibilities.
And this booklet of handouts will be shrink wrapped with the stretch goal booklet, along with the poster maps and the GM screen. So again, this is something that you crowdfunding backers will get and will treasure forever, because it's not going to be in the general release.
I don't think we give the Goodman Games Gazette enough mentions in these things.
Good call.
We kind of assume that people, we know we're going to include them, but we've had a lot of people who are just discovering us over the last couple of years. I think we should kind of explain what the Goodman Games Gazette is and why you get that when you're crowdfunding. So,
Mike, that's a wonderful question. Why don't you tell us about the Goodman Games Gazette?
So the Goodman Games Gazette, as it sounds, is done. It's a release that we do for free. That we pack in every crowdfunding project that we do. It's assembled by our stalwart Harley Stroh in his Mountain Fortress of Solitude, and so it's anywhere from 6 to 12 pages, depending on how much content. And it has interviews. It has kind of it has often bonus content. It has reviews of associated products or things that can kind of tie into that. We don't sell them individually, so the only way you can get them is by backing one of our projects. and that has made them quite popular on the secondhand market because there are some people who want all of them. But so we always throw those in with the stretch goal stuff. So but it's usually Harley is kind of working. Harley's rogue, so he's offering. We don't know, and we don't necessarily know at this point what's going to be in the Goodman Games Gazette.
We have no idea.
Yeah,
we trust Harley enough that we'll get something good, but nobody knows what we're getting until he turns it in.
We did give him an idea, and he said, "I love that idea." So I think I know what that's going to be. But again, it's going to be up to Harley. He's our editor in chief of the Goodman Games Gazette. So.
Yeah, it's kind of like our house rag. It includes sketches from that the artist had. It has interviews with some of the authors. Every issue is a little different. For a while, we had cartoons. Actually, if you're I don't want to name names. If you're an artist who has some random cartoons you want to throw away, bring it on. I love the gaming cartoon. I still subscribe to Nights at Their Dinner Table, and I love the little section in the back for the little gaming cartoons. Yeah, the Gazette is just supposed to be our little, I don't know, our little mementos about each crowdfunding project, kind of. There's also some usable game content. Each issue usually has a little bit of either a new monster or an encounter or something like that, mixed in with all these sort of what would you call the rest of the articles and essays, I guess, and insider material. Yeah. And somebody said in the chat they want a collection of the Gazettes. That's an interesting idea.
That sounds like a stretch goal down the road somewhere.
I hear a cry in outrage as all the collectors who have struggled hard to collect them all this year are saying, "No!"
They'd have some time to sell them.
Yeah, I know. We'll give them fair warning. No, we shouldn't do it yet. It's too soon. But those Judges Guild journals, Mike and I have talked about these many times. Part of the reason we did those two giant Judges Guild books was because Judges Guild published their journals on 11 by 17 pages. Like the Gazette's actually modeled on that format. I love that era of the journals, and you can't reprint it except on giant size paper. The one thing we're doing, which is slightly different, they actually use actual newsprint, so it disintegrates. So if you touch an original Judges Guild, if you so much as breathe on it, it starts to crinkle and collapse because the paper's so just brittle and old. Ours are printed on, I don't know what you call it, normal paper, so they're going to last a lot longer. But there will come a day when they're all great too. Acid free, yeah.
There's an old Judges Guild Gazette I have been trying to track down for a long time, and it's just
seriously?
Yeah, it's see, here's the issue though. There was back in the day there was a misprint, so number 5 was actually printed as number 3. So you actually see it as number 3, number 5. I have bought from Noble Knight number 3 twice now, and it's the wrong version because they have the graphic and the price is definitely right. But I go and open up and I'm like, so
that's really funny.
Luckily, they have a very nice return policy. I might return the same one twice now at this point, but
that's really funny. That reminds me of a story. The first issue of the Judges Guild Journal was actually issue I, as in letter I. There was no A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. And apparently that was because Bob Sr. had asked his wife to type it up, and she misread his notes. And instead of writing issue number 1, she wrote issue number I. And from then on, they were stuck.
And then the story was that it stood for I for initial. It was the initial installment, right?
They made that up. They retroactively retconned that. Yeah, that's pretty funny. So that's a good shout out, Mike. We should remind people about the Gazettes. We'll do an update or something. Because you're right, we never talk about that, but a lot of people love it and they're really cool.
We can't take it for granted because actually I had this discussion with Matt. I mean, I think, every volume is, if it's a monthly thing, it's like 12 issues per volume. But I don't know I don't know if we have a standard, but I know we're past we should be in volume 3 at this point. So I think
I know when the Torch was Reverend Dak originally edited them, then he kind of ran out of bandwidth in life, and we took it over to Harley. We changed the layout a little bit at that point. That's why we called it volume 2. But you're right, we should technically probably transition to volume 3 at some point.
We might have. I guess this was
nobody knows
with Matt, but I don't know. So,
yeah.
So, but I think there's got to be at least 12 kicking around out there by now.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
For a while, we had a page on the website where I half the reason the website existed so I can remember stuff. So we had a page where I was writing them down as we went, but we haven't done that in a long time, so I forgot. Anyway, cool. That's 570 book of handouts. Now 600K, which would be an awesome milestone, and well past the most any Goodman Games project has pulled in the past. this is where we're going to grant the request of like 9,000 backers, which is they will do these conversions. So far we have focused on items that are not necessarily going to delay the delivery of the main project. They're either, relatively crisp in terms of word count, or things like a GM screen we can put together from mostly existing material, so on. If we get this 600K and unlock these conversions, this will add a little bit of time to the process, because we were taking they're skinny adventures, but 2 adventures and doing complete conversions of them. So telling you backers now might add, I don't know, 3-4 weeks, something like that. But we've had so many requests that at that level, we will unlock the 5e conversion of Isle of the Serpents and the DCC conversion of the Sacrificial Pyre. So these will then become add-ons. So you can add on either print or PDF as you like, but that will give hopefully the backers on each side of the system choice the ability to buy the one they want. And then I think maybe, Mike, you should take the 630K, because that was the other one that we got a lot of requests for, but it'll definitely add some time to the project.
Sure. Yeah. 'Cause this is so if we do hit 630, we will commission a completely new adventure for both systems. So that means for DCC that'll mean a funnel adventure, and for 5e will mean a level 1 adventure. So this will be all new content, won't be converted stuff. We'll actually we'll commission something that is applicable to it. For this, we will offer the PDF version. All backers will get it, whether you're PDF or physical, but if we also will be available for physical copies, basically as an add-on. So you have to pay for the physical copy. And because we don't want to delay delivery of all the stuff we put all the work in, this is something that would come a couple months down the line. So this way it doesn't impact the rest of the stuff. So you would get all the other stuff, and then a couple months later, something would show up in the mail, and you'd be like, yay, or you get a PDF in your mailbox, and so we've listened, and it's a way to get there, but it's on the list. So.
And so that'll be the funnel for DCC, and then there'll be a 5e version 2, which will be presumably level 1, or however Chris's team chooses to convert it. But and we have seen this request too from practically every single backer. It is a great idea, and we'd be happy to do it. We just need to get to the point where we can pull it off. And yeah, I think that's it. If we get above 630, then I'm going to take a very long nap, and then we'll entertain additional suggestions, like flip mats. Somebody was suggesting wet dry erase something or other earlier in the chat. At that point, all options are on the table.
Yeah. We'll if we have to schedule another one of these shows, we're getting close.
Yeah.
So
exactly. So everyone, thank you for getting us this far. It's pretty amazing. Please go out and tell your friends, spread the word. This project's doing incredible. There's so many backers, and people are adding on so much stuff. It's great.
And we're gonna put all these new stretch goals. We're gonna put them on the campaign page, right? So folks who aren't watching are gonna see it
as soon as Aaron is done.
Okay.
Let's. Aaron, you done yet? Yeah, we'll go ahead and add these to the campaign page. And right now they have a little graphic that says art to come. And actually, I think Aaron was going to RageCon. If you're going to be at RageCon this weekend, go by and check to see if Aaron Creeder is drawing or not. He should be at his booth drawing.
Like every day at my place is RageCon.
Well, it stands for Reno Area Gaming Convention, I think. Reno Area Gaming Expo, something like that. It's got a very legitimate acronym, but like
the last E is redundant.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, but the word rage is such like a obviously an aggressive word, but it makes perfect sense once you realize it's in Reno. All right. Did we forget to talk about anything, or is that everything?
I think we're all looking at the same document, so I think we're good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Free Minotaur calf at 640, dude. I'll give you my Minotaur calf. You'll get my Minotaur calf at 640.
No way to talk about your children. That's it.
I know.
Oh, I thought he was talking about his lower leg.
Yeah, right. That's hilarious. Yeah, he tripped in Greece. Who knows? Maybe. I'm just not saying it's necessarily a good neighborhood in Greece, but we'll give you a trip to Greece.
How about you 2 tickets to the musical Greece? All right. That's
Yes. and like a hostel in the bad part of Athens. You know, like,
For creative purposes, to come up with an adventure idea.
well,
right? Exactly.
So.
As you're getting mugged, you yell, "Can you stat that up?" All right, I think that's it. We missed anything?
Yep. No, apparently we gotta go back to work and start getting on more stretch goals. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Super 7 action figures. That'd be awesome. Stop tempting us. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for your
That's a
time.
different project.
Yeah, exactly. Appreciate all the support. And I think that's it. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Good weekend, everybody.
Talk to you later.
Bye.